So, hey, y'all. Ooh, I see what the problem is. Ooh, child. Okay. I had two screens up playing the music. Hey, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Hope everyone um is having had a restful, semi-restful break, vacation. It was not even really a break. I say it was a break and we're back from break because we were technically closed. But as soon as today hit, we see these emails, this submissions, check this word. Y'all were like, okay, break over. So let me know you can hear me okay. I have my little music. Hold up. And I didn't realize this was split up in here. So I just want to cue up some slides. I'm gonna try to come on in and I'm gonna talk about a few things today. Hi, Sakia. Happy New Year. I'm back. We back. We back. We back. Adria Blue. Happy New Year. You finally caught alive. I was late today. Listen, we're gonna give all of us are gonna give each other grace. Give me grace. Give you grace. I started a little like 3 minutes late, and I'm trying to queue up some slides. But yes, so let me just okay. We are gonna go over the qualities. What would I title this? The qualities of a well done microloc, based on the original standards that were set. I'll give you a little bit more about that real quick. It's also the standards that we apply our submissions to, our students to. Y'all know I can't multitask. I'm trying to run and fly. So I can download it. Listen, we're good. We're gonna go ahead and start. Let me cue it up in the background. Put in the chat where you're watching from. Take a moment to like this video. It's a good time to like it if you're in the Facebook group or you're on YouTube. It's a good time to subscribe so that you can get notifications. I got some juicy stuff coming. I got some juicy. This is just coming in softly. The lot's still going on. Look at this music now. I cannot find it. Here we go. And I wanted to share some of the clips and of the information. Yes, Happy New Year. I'm not seeing any likes. How many likes? How many comments? Hi, Nicole. Congratulations to Nicole. She was our full training winner from the party. If you attended the party, click like or let me know in the comments if you attended our virtual party. You had to kind of attend it in person. You can watch the replay, but I think in person maybe gave it a different feel. Plus, you were able to, all you had to do was just comment and it automatically put you in a drawing for prizes. So I thought that was kind of cool. Some prizes are still yet to be mailed out. You guys, please fill out. I don't know who's in a Facebook group, but I keep dropping a link for you guys to fill out your information if you want a prize. We know the names, but some information is still blank. Like I don't even have emails for some people so that I can get your mailing address. You don't have to give me your home address. I'm not going to show up at your house. I just want to know where to send your one of those boxes or one of the packages to. You got your gift today? Yeah, I don't even know what you won. What did you win? I packaged them with love. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get just at least cue up this other slideshow because okay, yeah, and here we go. We'll cue that one up. Yeah, because it has all the slides in it. You attended it. Okay, great. All right, so today I wanted to go over this. I just had it in my mind to go over some qualities of really well done Microlocs from a professional standpoint and from the way that the standards were intended. That my program uses the standards that I intended when I was making this alternative to sister locks. Again, this is just based on what I found to have worked for what, going on 16 years of direct client services, watching hair over long periods of time, hundreds of clients out of the New York City area. And there's just certain things that when I see something, I'm like, oh yeah, those are really well done. Even if the installation looks a certain way, we all should know by now the installation is not the final product. It is not by far going to look exactly like that time down the line. I want everyone, well, I always want to reiterate, and at least for people who are new to the lock realm, also people who are seasoned in it, we sometimes I think it's good to keep reiterating that hair is locking. It is matted hair. So we've adopted that word locks. Originally, that word lock was a European word for their long straight hair, hence Goldilocks. And, they would use that in writings to describe just flowing hair. But we've adopted it into the lock community because it actually works really well, but because of also dreadlocks, out of that term, the dreadful locks. And we're like, we're going to take the dread off and have locks. So a lot of times it works really well because in essence, the hair is locking together, kind of, merging together. But I don't want it to get lost. If we just rewind all the way back to the root of everything, locks, I don't want to call them dreads, matted hair. They're essentially matted hair that we have carefully curated, cultivated, nurtured into a particular look and style. But the essence of what it is, it's still matted hair. So I think sometimes we're finding that sometimes people just need to make peace with the fact that your hair is going to go in the evolution of matting together. And it's going, depending on what you want the outcome to look, we have to put certain things in place for it. It's like, what's the formula to get the answer, the equation? And if you try to switch up that formula, you might get a different equation. And if it works with what you want, cool. But there's certain things that are in the equation so that it can meet a certain standard. And I feel what's really important in standards should always be long-term strength, right? Is your hair going to be strong? Because even if you don't have damaged hair, damaged scalp, or I'll say damaged hair, your hair, what you could have put into your hair without the proper nurturing could become damaged. And also then now you have damaged locks, when in essence you really don't have damaged hair. It's the foundation that had become damaged for what you were trying to create. Am I making any sense? Because I want y'all to get a pen or remember some of these key things that I'm going to talk about. Your swag bag. Oh, okay. A box with a water bottle, a mug, a planner. Yes. I love that set. I gave you because we just got these water bottles in and I've been using my water bottle all the time. So I'm glad you got that as a gift set. Why you miss everything? No, we're going to do more stuff. Don't worry, no worries. Listen, the people that enroll are going to get the prizes. If you enroll, you get a prize. You get some of the things we gave away, but also the hair oil. I think I gave some hot oil kits though. So you can always grab that, and sometimes I'll put them on sale, or maybe I'll give them away again. I want y'all to really use the oil, so I try to give them away. Yes, okay. Just got on. Right. So I have to preface everything with that. I know, listen, I'm coming to understand, and some of my other loctician colleagues are coming to understand, like, sometimes we're seeing people that want like instantaneous results, or maybe just haven't had this full experience on the small realm. There are people that have had sister locks or small locks before, or traditional locks, so they're semi-familiar. But even coming from the traditional lock realm to this realm, there are still differences. The hair is going to evolve differently, and it requires different things to maintain strength. When you're going smaller and micro, you want to maintain your strength. Otherwise, I mean, it's up to you if you want to have them hanging off or you want to worry about, but I think most people don't want to have to worry about them coming out or having something happen and now their lock is weak and you just go like this one day and then, oh no, my lock. Like literally that can happen to be an extension. So this kind of conversation, I'm going to tailor it to both, but extensions is a different realm, but still there's a few things that make it well done. The foundation upon which people are attaching Microloc extensions, this conversation still applies. right? All right, so let me know if y'all are ready. I'm gonna go through this. I don't have I have visuals I can incorporate, but I'm gonna get through the points verbally. If that makes sense, okay? Hi Tashia, hi Precious. I'll shout y'all out until I get my YouTube thing set up where I get the super chat, like all of that. I don't have it all the stuff set up yet, so I'm still um doing everything old school. All right, so the things that I look out for. Who's the very first thing that tells me if don't nobody take offense, but if I see that first, I'm looking for a nice even cylindrical lock. But if I see that those ends, whether they're pulled inside the lock or not, are puffier significantly than the root, not a little bit puffier, a little slightly, very puffy. Usually I see it with color treated. I see it also without color treated. So if the ends are significantly puffier than the roots, I can visually see that no matter what the size lock is, really, really skinny or not. And what it tells me, and most of you should know, I don't know who knows me or not, but I don't prescribe to leaving hair out going on this specific lock journey, leaving your ends out. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's not just about, there's actual structural reasons why, and you can cause more damage. But, I want to tell you why having them just fluffy, even if they're in a lock or not. If it's color treated, skilled opticians are going to be hyper focused on those areas because they know that hair is probably texturized in a looser curl pattern. We have loose curl patterns naturally throughout our entire head. When we're dealing with color treated or heat damaged hair, there's certain things that should be done before we put the install in, but even after it's done, I notice when the ends are overly puffy. Okay, some people could say, well, hey, maybe that's the look they like. Let me ask people this because, I don't even do my intro or anything. I'm just jumping into this all haphazardly. Happy New Year. I'm all over the place sometimes. But a lot of the things that I say come out of hair that has progressively been damaged because when you are locking on a small scale and you're using an interwoven lock or interlocking in the roots, you have to realize that the lumpier and bumpier that lock is, the fatter that lock is in some spaces, as you try to glide and slide it through, you're going to possibly have more problems. Knowingly or unknowingly, you'll be possibly ripping out more hairs. I've seen it happen continuously. People are super, super racing through retightenings, trying to sometimes just focusing on the roots, and they're ripping, and people are in pain. And depending on your tool, we go over two main tool types in the program. One that I don't recommend as much because of more potential problems. You could be catching and snagging on more hairs. You got inconsistency in size, and you got hooks and crooks pulling through. I ask people, or I try to reinforce, having a well-done lock is not just about the aesthetics, but it's also about the functionality of the maintenance that you are choosing to do. If you're choosing to do a maintenance routine that is going to take that entire lock and pull it through a small, skinny base that people really focus on making sure that it's even and crisp and parted very well, great, and nice and tiny. But now your locks are swelling bigger in some areas. And if you leave that swelling unaddressed for too long, it will mat in that pattern. It'll mat looser. So skinny and in fat, it can become more problematic for that. I don't speak as much as on the traditional locks because traditional methods are not taking your lock and pulling it through. Large interlocks are. Traditional locks aren't. So it's less of an issue if the hair is hanging out, the hair is out. It's less of an issue. It's not even really an issue unless they're trying to take that lock and pull it through. And if that's your main primary means of maintaining that hairstyle for years and years and years, I would question, why wouldn't you want it to be as smooth and less problematic as possible? If you don't like this look, some people say they don't like this look, I could then question, what type of locks do you desire truly? And maybe they're not Microlocs that you want. And what micro means, we go into definitions. But I meant to preface this as the original Microloc standards I started Microloc standards as an enhancement to sister locks because of the problems I was noticing with sister locks. We only went over one top quality. I got a few more, but a lot of the problems we're going to go over how they're addressed when I tell you these qualities. But we were seeing strength and different things becoming an issue, inconsistencies, broken locks. So I created the Microloc standards that I use for Microloc mastery out of enhancement to sister locks. Qualities that give the best long-term results that also prevent the problems. So there's a reason, and I'm going to tell y'all the reasons why I go over this. If it saves anyone, continue. There are people that are literally stressed, finding different locticians, finding different options, scrambling the internet, trying to figure out how to do it on their own to address, repair, fix, because it looked good in the beginning, but now it's becoming an issue. And so we don't want people to have that. That's why I get passionate, because it's like a lot of locticians who really have mastered this technique have spent a lot of time repairing. So that's the first one. Let me get to the next one. Oh, thank you, TT. Okay. The second, drastically inconsistent sizing. So uniform sizing, again, for aesthetics is great, but also technically is also a bonus to have the consistent sizing. Nothing's perfect. I have slight variations. I mean, humans have slight variations. Down my edges, they might be a different size, they might be a different size. But when we're talking about refined Microloc standards, the sizing should be as consistent as possible, given the slight variations in a person's hair, scalp density, and texture. And so that is a skill, because there's certain things that you can do and you need to do in order to keep a consistent look, so the overall look. But if it's a drastic, like one lock could be 5, and then the base is massive, and then the base is tiny, and it's a tinier lock. So those are when I see a nice consistent sizing, consistent shape of the lock, I'm like, oh, those are done really well, because that person's hair is growing out nice and consistent with the tension of the rest of the lock, and they're all matching. Which leads me to the third point. There is an absence of bumps, lumps, knots. Okay, even in the early phases when hair is swelling, there's a little bit more consistencies that happen early on. But if those are hanging around year 1 into year 2 into year 3, that becomes there's something is up with the foundation of that should be addressed. So goes back to the point I was mentioning first, with wanting your lock to be smooth so that you can go in through the base and out nice and easy, nice and easy. Otherwise, I would tell people, get another maintenance method. If I have a little fire in me, it's only because I'm thinking about a couple of novices or DIYers that were like, I like a puffy look. They were literally liking loose hair. Cool. But why are you terming in micro? Why do you want a micro? Why are you using that method to do that? Because a lot of people are coming into professionals' chairs thinking fixes, can you address this? But perhaps that method, perhaps that sizing, something about what you're doing is not conducive to having it be done that way. So maybe you can switch up. Maybe you should try palm rolling. Maybe you should try larger interlocks, like something different I wouldn't even say interwoven. If you're going to be pulling a lock through and you don't want it consistent and you don't want it to be, because when your virgin hair growing out of your scalp with your, it's usually going to be tighter. If you leave your ends out, you're already going to start off with inconsistencies. But if they're very drastic, and I'll pull some pictures for y'all. Let me get through the points. I'm going to see how many, because I don't want to interrupt the flow of the points that I want to make. But I have some pictures. I can show y'all what happens with that, and how that becomes more problematic. So properly sized for the hair texture and the desired strength. That's where I pull off, again, what I was addressing directly with what I was seeing with Sister Lock installs versus what I wanted my installs to be. I, too, didn't know any better when I first went to a Sister Lock consult. the second consult where I wanted to get my hair done. I ended up getting my hair done. I said, can you make my hair the smallest it can be? Because during that time, there was a lot of people that really wanted tiny, tiny locks and they wanted it to look like hair. A lot of people said they want it to look like permed hair. So they had this huge fascination with making them so tiny. My loctician said, I will make it the smallest I can for you, for your size and texture, which was great because it immediately put me into, okay, well, I can't, there is some limitation or structure to what I'm asking for. And then there was, I just want to put this on silent. Put this on silent. And what I've seen though is people whose hair texture was not appropriate to be size super tiny. And now it's a wiry and the tool combination. And it's a wiry, scraggly, very prone to weak, very, very prone. And then people were coming in with Ziploc baggies. These are all my locks. Can you put these in? I don't know what's happening. And I look and I see microscopic. I'm like, she could have combined four of those and it still would have been the size of one of my locks. So there's a knowledge and a skill to properly sizing that goes with the texture and the strength desired. I do not believe that they should be seen tiny microscopic. And I've seen it. And I told you, and I'm really honest, when I was on the panel with Sister Locks and I was at that event in LA in September, and they did that hair show. First, there was so many things that I saw that went against, even though I knew the principles of Sister Locks, but that's another discussion. But I saw those really tiny and they were just broken and fragile looking. And I said, oh my gosh, it makes me want to just give them strength right now. Like, I just wonder, can I sit down and let me like feel strength in these locks or like, so that's just made me laser focused on that. Really well done locks. Take that in consideration. You shouldn't look and say, oh my gosh, I feel fragile just looking at the hair. I feel like blow on it. And let me stop, I'm being extra. So that and a consistent shape was another thing. When I see the nice consistent shape, that goes off to the previous points of the lumps and bumps and knots, but consistent barrel shape. Because originally, the translation for Microlocs was to be like the look of traditional, well done traditional locks on a smaller scale. So that barrel shaped cylinder that you see on really, really uniform, pretty locks. And again, you don't have to have, that's not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. So I'm only speaking in the realm I'm speaking in. So I understand that that's not what everyone wants, and there's free form and there's all these other beautiful variations. But I'm speaking for those who are looking for, who originally wanted on a smaller scale the beauty of locks. Again, doing all the curls and all the other things is what gives you the different looks, the different curls. I can do it straight. I thought about doing it straight for y'all, and I was like, I don't have time. And you can play with the volume and fullness and look that way. But if I were to wet this and have it all straight, you would see it look just like really well done larger locks. Oh, girl, this ain't the replay. This is live, girl. I'm live. We're back. When you are repairing, how do you keep it from unraveling when you're trying to repair the holes or bunching? Keep it from unraveling. So sometimes repair needs to be in phases. So, depending on if I'm doing an install and there's already incorporated into the process, then I'm going to go in each session and coax that hair back in, fix, that's the minor repair. Then I set it up for the next and the next and the next, because it's ever evolving. So it's not just sometimes a one shot. Sometimes, and it has happened with a client, but finally it's pulled in where we would make that lock or we would make that thing, and then it would, by the next session, look, where the locks, they unraveled. But more and more and more of them are together. So I know, we talk about routine and we talk about other things, but sometimes it's a process. But if it's someone that has a little more mature locks and you're doing an actual repair session, it should not unravel. It should not be I don't know. It depends on the type of repair. You said holes or bunching. It shouldn't be unraveling. You should be able to go ahead in and do what you need to do and you'll notice visually right away. And then allow it to evolve, because hair is still matting, it's still got to expand. So you'll notice when you do the repair, it should be tighter and it should be skinnier in that space. And then the hairs will start to expand over time. And then it should be more pulled into a uniform, smooth lock. Does that make sense? Okay. So when you're learning techniques to install, retighten, etc., they are not complete in my book, or the book is my book and standards, if they are not showing you how to do repairing and refining. These are certain major things: repairing, refining, and preventing. So it is normal in some phases of lock development that you would need to do these things. And then, so you're going to be doing the repairing, and then the refining is kind of piggybacks off of that. It's not necessarily repair. Refining could be, I'm smoothing down the lock, but it's not necessarily a repair. And then preventing is, we don't want this to be an issue. We want to make sure that we address this. Now we see it, we see the hair doing this, or we know that it has the potential, color treated hair, looser textured hair. We are going in and making sure that we are handling that maybe with a little bit more care. And so it's a combination of those things that make a really skilled pro or a really skilled DIY or whatever, and really well done. So to rewind, I talked about some of the top qualities of Microlocs based on the original standards. Again, the original standards of Microlocs that are created were to address issues that I was seeing in sister locks. Those issues were weakened, damaged, fragile locks, broken locks, inconsistent sizing, puffy ends, loose hair. A lot of these things are actually not written into the sister lock program as something that's not desirable either. So that I find it sometimes interesting when I see it. And I saw it at the hair show. I saw hair, that much hair out at the end, and newer locks. I saw fat ends, skinny base, which showed me the tension was off and there needed to be. So when someone does an install and they don't do the install with the same tension that they're doing the retightening with, that happens a lot. And they don't know how to go in and tighten it up. They just leave it. And then now you have the fat ends. I had a client that did me that way. They had locks. They wanted me to reattach. They weren't microscopic, but they were damaged and needed to repair so many lumps. Oh, man. So they wanted you to reattach those damaged locks. So that's when consults come into play. Before you even take someone in that has these issues, can we do a virtual, or can you come in on so-and-so day? Can I take a look at your hair, see where it's going? Because, I'm not, you become increasingly more vocal sometimes about the limit of repair work that you're going to do, or I can't reattach those locks, but I can reattach different locks, or whatever. You can kind of work with that, but there's certain things you just can't be a magician to. I always feel like a lot of things can be repaired or rehab, but there are certain things that go beyond it. So when what's beyond repair, those puffy, those parts of the lock that are hard, now they're hard. They're hard. So you got the skinny, right? Skinny, all the way 9 inches skinny, and then poof, big, 4 times the size spot on the lock. And then you can't smooth that out if it's hard. And now it's hard. What are you going to get? What tool are you going to be able to really go in and address that with if the lock hardens? There's a certain window of time. I always tell people, that's why I say sooner the better. You can't just leave it. And then the hair is like, well, we're going to do what we want to do. We still want to lock. We're still going to mat together. This is what we're doing. And then it'll mat together on its own way. And you either have to figure out if you could comb it out. But once it's really hard, and God forbid there's product and stuff in there, then it's just that's where you're gonna have to. You can't fix it in that way. It's okay. Yeah, I'm live. I keep making holes every time I try to close. Girl, you are in the program. You come and join our. Oh, so I do have some announcements for those people in the program or getting ready to be in the program. We have some meetings coming up, and we have, this is going to be the spaces where we can help get you to close up everything properly. You can bring your stuff in, and we'll get you to close it seamlessly. All right. So I got all my points. Yeah, many not doing it. Okay, yeah, I had some notes from what I went on earlier. So that's one of the things I wanted to um, talk about because I remember people mentioning early when we were launching Microloc Mastery, some people who were like, I'm not sure what it looks like, what it should look like versus what it shouldn't. And that's a really good question. And it got me thinking, there are people who don't necessarily know what is a problem that they're seeing, what could be problematic versus what is really well done. I think there are people that do know it, but I think that I didn't realize there were so many people that were like, can you show me the comparison? So I can queue up some photos for y'all on some of the things that can become problems and why they are problems. There's a reason for everything that I'm saying. I could care less if people want to have a certain look and style. The reason why and those of us who speak about this maybe have some passion behind it is because we've seen real life situations of people spending hard-earned money, double their price or the same price of their install to fix. We've seen people break down in our chairs. I'll speak for myself, but I know a few people have told me as well. I've had people more than a little bit extremely disappointed coming for repair, brand new, extremely disappointed. They feel slighted, they feel manipulated, they feel taken advantage of by the previous loctician, they feel bamboozled, they feel I got so much going on in my life. Someone had a death, she had to worry about the death, and she had to worry about money for her hair. Should she fix it? She has a professional job, she didn't know it was going to look like this. She had there's somebody that was several people going through mental health, depression, things in their life that are getting them down. And this is another area that they feel uncontrollable. They don't know. They really didn't know. And they were saying, if I had known or no one told me. And that is why some of us counter with the real life. I've had people in my chair fix that I fixed with this with. I've had people say these things. And so I know the message isn't always what people want to hear, but if I always know that if I had been through those problems, I would have wanted to know, beforehand. That's what my very first YouTube was about. I was like, I want to know these things because I was too out there looking for a loctician or looking to learn how to enhance my skills. And I really found these things out and wanted to let people know. Whether people wanted to know it or not, it's up to people. It's okay. Sometimes you got to go through the experience, or sometimes you won't have the bad experience. But I wouldn't want people to go through something that they don't want to go through or not understand what's happening if they got the information beforehand, before they made an investment or went through the process, or if they really wanted an outcome. And you don't know, that doesn't get you to that. So, what? Wait, what? Okay, it gets tighter one part as it looks like two ropes. Oh, yeah, girl. You're going through the same spot over and over again, honey bun. You can't go through the same spot over and over and over again. So reverse what you're doing as much as you can, and then set up a call with us or bring it to our group that we're going to have next week. And I'm going to tell you all the dates. They wanted me to reattach the debit. Why? What was damaged about the locks? So y'all, if y'all watching this on YouTube, like this video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I only see 2 hearts up here, but again, it doesn't mean anything because they don't show me. Oh wait, this is showing me Facebook. So let me know, because I want to make more content. It depends on how deep I go. I do go deep. Like, if you know enough, I try to say a lot without doing a free whole training that $1,000 worth of training, because there's certain things that you can look at a technique on YouTube, but when you get to it, the troubleshooting, and you have specific hair type or you have specific tool, you gotta There's all these factors. That's why I always feel like there's things that go beyond just watching a couple of videos on like one person doing it on one person's head, or there's so many nuances. So when you want them really well done, there's a certain level of support and knowledge, and yes, there were standards. And so a lot of people don't know that. And it's okay. They didn't know beyond, you know, 10, I don't know how many years ago. But again, the standards were created out of the needs that were. So it couldn't have been a copy of Sister Locks because it was problems, fundamentally problems in the core of that I felt we could throw away half the stuff that didn't make sense. We can appreciate, always appreciate the foundational knowledge, but there's things that can be expanded and innovated upon. We don't need to lock into certain systems because that's a business, corporate thinking. I want to go ahead and straight trade, copyright, trademark this system. So it has to be done with this tool, and it has to be done with this, and it has to be done with that. But then what it left was, this tool's not working properly for some people. Can we move outside of it? There is no other tool to move out, and then other people made tools, and it was like, now you're going out of our system. And I was like, oh my God, this is too much. I'm going to speak. And that's how I started talking about it. And I was like, so I'm going to make standards that defy all of this. Capitalism, white man, it's going to be about the basis of knowledge. And then you can go ahead and adjust and incorporate and attach it to how you want to move, what works best for you or your client, that particular client. Certain things may work well for some people, but I'm telling you, they're not going to work for everyone the same way because we're just different, like our fingerprints, our hair textures are different. So, girl, I'm looking at your comments. I had to let them go. Got started with first 2 rows and they didn't like it. I had to take them all down, then cut the rest out. I didn't comb out. What? I got to see that, Precious. I have to see. I hate for people to have to cut stuff out. I feel like if you can comb it out, if we can salvage it, I don't want you to do unnecessary work or have people sit in a chair unnecessary lengths of time. You get a lot of clients bringing me lots to put in, to put back. And then I touched on, if y'all remember, I believe one of the free training that we did in a Facebook group right before we went last month, the 3-day, was it 3-day? Or it was a free long training. I talked about extensions, and I talked about it being a much more comprehensive thing. There's so many areas to look at that all together give you a solid head of locks that can last for years and years and years and serve the purpose of what the person intended for. Most people want it to help them carry through to the point where they feel comfortable with their hair and they can cut them off. And so that's when I brought Angela in, a real person, that 14 years down the line used her locks for the very thing a lot of people want to use them for, to help just their hair to grow and not lose any locks. So there's so many factors to that. She talked about, her regimen, what she was doing, being consistent with the same loctician, the tools. There's already 3 things I named right there that are very important to making sure that you can have locks stay in for as long as possible. Approach this differently than a temporary hairstyle. This is, unless you're doing a temporary hairstyle, they want their locks in for a moment. I don't know who wants to sit and put all little locks in for a moment, but there are some people that may want temporary faux locks, micro size, little size, but a lot of people don't want to have to pay that again or keep sitting down. They may want them in permanently to help them. So now there's so many more factors that we need to play. We can't just go think about how we used to go to the, I used to say 125th Street and get my extensions in my hair and won't see her for another 6 months, if whatever. It's more about nurturing and building your hair consistently. So it requires a different type of relationship and a different type of mindset for what you're doing. So it's not like a wham bam hit it. It's a lot more than that. And so if people are traveling across the country, or if something happens and there isn't another person that can pick up right where that person left off and continue to nurture that, there's a possibility that they're gonna be problems. It's not designed in the same way. You're dealing with matted hair that is growing out your scalp virgin, that is evolving into a matted. It's going through a process. And when it's connected to extension hair or reattached hair, where those connection points are, how each of those strands are behaving with that added hair, synthetic or human, the curl pattern may not be exactly the same. It's all going to do all these different things, and we want to make sure that you can get it in a way where, as it does what it doesn't detach itself or not look real or hang by a string. Make sense? Thank you. 13 people watching, but only 5 likes. We're going into 2024, and I'm not, you can call me whatever you want to call me, but I see other YouTubers say this as well. There's so much value I get from other YouTubers too. And different topics, y'all know, and all different topics. And it's like, it doesn't hurt for me to press like. That's a Black woman. Like, I have to get over whatever it is within me that's like withholding the energy of likes. There's only 5 likes. I don't know. But so many people tell me they fix their hair. I've seen so many people repeat and regurgitate the information I've shared. So I know there's value in what I'm saying. So I want us all to just spread that, give and take. 5 likes. I don't know how many likes there are now. I can't see, but I am getting kind of weary. It's like, come on, y'all. Because 2024 is going to be some things that hopefully you'll be pleasantly surprised. But I would say show some love if you can, because there are not many clients, but there are not too many people in my area that can't do that. That can do that. Okay. Well, they were puffy, hard spots, yeah, and inconsistency in size. Hair was fine too, yeah, and a lot going on with that client was a lesson. Yeah, and if the client is stressed, and the client has hair breaking, and the client poor diet or medical issues, poor regimen, inconsistent Black professionals, oh my goodness, there's so many things. It could be the top. You can be doing your best, and it still have problems. So it's a whole thing. I juiced the apple and some grapes. Yeah, it's so good. And I like all the froth because I feel like it's like a apple cider. So yeah, so if I get a little extra excited, it's because of the energy. The client I had done a better consult. Exactly, Rena. I just wanted YouTube to let thank you. I appreciate you. Exactly. Oh, they cut it out. They didn't want to sit longer for me to cut them. Oh, they cut it out. I just had another story told to me today from a loctician friend. And somebody wasn't happy with what they got. And so my conclusion from that conversation was we have to make sure that people know what they want. And even if you don't know how to get that, start the conversation with what is it you want to achieve. And then my hair, look, my face looks. And then a loctician a skilled loctician can say, all right, this is what I do, and this is how we're going to be able to achieve that. If someone doesn't want that, they always can say, no, that's not what I want, whatever. And then loctician can say, well, that's what I do. I don't do this, I do this, or whatever it is. And then either agree to the service or say, sorry, that I can't accommodate you based on what I can provide, based on the results that you're trying to achieve. This is a lot of conversation, but I don't think there's enough conversation about what people truly, truly want. And sometimes I think people maybe don't know exactly how. They know like what they've seen, but like, what do you want long term? Do you want it long term? And so when people, it's like this thing is like when you see something done really well, even if it's not your niche, it's not something that you know, but you think you see something like art. Oh, that looks like a nice painting, right? And someone could say, oh no, that's got smudges, whatever it is, right? I don't know. Maybe art is not a good analogy, but let's say you see something and they're like, no, this is well done. And let me show you why and how. And then you're like, oh, wow, I would never have known that is not going to be a problem. That's not toxic fumes, or that's not going to deteriorate the paper or whatever. So it's kind of like that. I'm figuring when people see a lot of things and pretty faces and really clean parts and really just things that look good initially. It's knowing what looks well done down the line. Okay, so I was gonna queue up some pictures for y'all, right? And then I want to let you know while I queue up pictures, I'm gonna let you know really quickly, so I don't go too long. Upcoming trainings, upcoming workshops for our members. Want their sister lock put together? I'm not sure that. Oh, you mean like styled? Okay. All right. really quickly, our January schedule. Okay. New members, our enrollment is closed, but there's a special opportunity for those who've had been on a payment plan and those who are on the wait list. Check your email. Otherwise, if you don't take that offer, that's cool. But I want to welcome the new members that came in. The program is closed and we reopen with different changes to the programs and different pricing. Okay, so we're going to do a welcome and check-in next Monday at 7 p.m. in our Microloc Masters community. Okay, that is our private community off social media. On the 22nd, the following Monday, we will start our group coaching with Tosha and Frida. Tosha and Frida or they might be on the same day or not, but there are two coaches that help facilitate. And so that will be every Monday starting on the 22nd at 7 p.m. for the following 5 weeks. Okay. So our hope is that you will have your supplies if you enroll well before that. With those who have the special offers. We have our advanced repair and extension classes starting on the 25th. Those are Thursdays, I believe. Yes. So we will start those classes. So those who have enrolled in our advanced repair, welcome. And our extensions, we have Microloc Master Extensions students as well. So the advanced repair takes some of that class. So you'll be together for a portion, and then we'll continue on with those who want the full extensions. And then there is the trainers business program starts. So those who are selected for our trainer program, you will facilitate Microloc mastery trainings in person at your locations, and we will start your business training classes and on everything we need to do on the 31st of this month. So I just want to put that out. You will get an email. I wanted to share that really quickly. She wants you to combine them. Oh yeah, I've had combining sister locks clients too. Extremely tiny for no reason, and they didn't want that. That's another thing. The client didn't even want it that small. Right. And so I think I found your legal issue. Uh-oh, girl, don't even worry about it. There's a you put it on here. The copycats, everything. There's a higher unseen. I think if you move with the intention of continuously trying to copy a program and fool people, it's something that you did not invest. I invested nearly 16 years of my life at Microlocs, even in the worst days of my life, even people not knowing me, to create platforms with good intentions. I think that if someone is trying to just grab your money and give you poor stuff, things that have to keep changing their name legally, it's actually really crooked. And so how can you want to be uplifting Black women when the very thing you're doing is trying to take down a company? It's not going to happen. But then also swindle other Black women out of money with it. So if we want to make a good indent in high quality services, but you're learning techniques that are going to be continuously problematic, how does that, for the bigger whole of people having high quality services, how does that help us if people are going to continuously go into people's chairs with the same problems? And this time they paid a high ticket price for it because they thought that person was certified. But they were certified in techniques that were not a part of standards for micro size. I'm not talking about traditional size or larger locks. I'm talking about on the micro level. It continuously caused problems for decades. And now it's just have people paying for it because they're confused about all the plethora of Microloc trainings. So I already knew that snakes go shed skin and come back out with different looks, but they still get caught. And that is unfortunate, but they always be found. Don't worry. Things always come to me. I'm not gonna get too spiritual with it, but I would just tell people, be very clear and move very well in 2024. Don't try to scam people. Don't try to swindle people. These are Black women. We're a reflection of each other. And I go very hard for people being taken advantage of intentionally. Like that's just wrong. Anyway, you got your supplies today. Congrats, congrats. But girl, so okay, so as I close this out, well, I don't know if there's any more questions that y'all have about this, but I did want to put that up. I will send an email out to everybody with this schedule. We actually don't have our workshops listed on here. I just wanted to give y'all the big things. Um, you know, I'm flattered, but I'm also on a personal note. There's things I'm not speaking of right now. But um it's not sometimes they just say like write things off as flattery, but I know people intentionally try to make sure like they don't give people credit so that they can copy what someone's doing. And Lord have us mercy. I think I know who you might be talking about. As a Microloc Essential Training, the basic certification class, yes, that is the main program. We so enrollment is open with that special offer only for those people we sent the email to. But we are now going forward when we reopen publicly. It is going to just be lumped back together with the business builder. We have separated the essentials program from the business builder because there were some people that didn't want it, and we didn't want to make them pay. We wanted to give them a price reduction, if they didn't want to pay for like the business support. So y'all can see me good enough because my other light went out. I'm getting ready to get off. Yes, you got your supplies today. Yay! Okay. So, is there anyone in Philly that I can recommend? This South Jersey. Philly. I gotta look Philly. I gotta look in Philly. I'm gonna look in. Okay, how do I do that? You want to update your email account for the email list? I'm not sure which email you're talking about. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. If you want to change your email, you can always sign up. So if you're not in the group, trying to think how you can do this. We have like the group sign up. It puts you on the email list. Also, if you sign up for the webinar, it puts you on the email list. I'll put the group first just in case you're not on the group. And you can always sign up for the group there. It does ask for your email, but once you put your email there and you kick into the group, you put your email again, it automatically puts you in. I don't have to go check it or anything. So then it puts you in our email list. In that way, you can put your different email list, if that makes sense. We also have the microlocdirectory.com, which I may not list the person on Philly though, but I would just say check there because it's Jersey. Maybe you'll find this. If you're willing to go into Jersey, we have some people in Jersey. And we have some people in Delaware too. I have to look at our comprehensive list. We're going to be adding that to the directory where you can just see everyone that's been certified, that's actively certified, that doesn't have a listing and they don't have a page, but I still think they should be able to be contacted if they're looking for service. And what's the other? So comments. All right, let me take this off. Oh, I'm going to play the audio of this Sister Lock panel discussion. Okay, I'm going to, not now because it's not queued up. But I decided that I want y'all to hear, and it's going to segue into something very significant and very, very big for Microloc Mastery. Again, I've been slaying these dragons to make Microlocs, destigmatize it as much as possible so that all these people can have these businesses and all these classes. It has been a fight that I've had to do from the beginning initially from Sister Locks. And then as the years went down, it's become less of a thing now. But there's still, when you're on the panel with the founder of Sister Locks, to this day, she still says that I've done bootleg Sister Locks, despite strengthening them, reattaching, creating innovations to reattach them, creating Microloc extensions. I still was reduced down to doing bootleg Sister Locks. And I want everyone to know that's why I tell people don't stop doing what you're doing. It's a much needed option for women. And when it's done really well, because we don't want women to be put to pay money to get something attached for it to fall out. We want them to pay money as a viable option that they can have for as long as they want to have it. So we don't want to make more problems, either trying to provide a solution. But I will be putting that up. I thought about doing that for today, but I didn't edit out, and I didn't. It's something that I want to do in conjunction with this. Let me take her off though, because I want to show y'all. I'm having surgery on 118. I may not be able to start. Oh, you can join anytime you want. You're already in this. You're already enrolled, and if you decide that you want to go to the next cycle, so that'll be in February, probably the end of February, the beginning of March, or you can just hop in whenever you're ready. Tosha or Frida will be able to tell you which module they're on. So you'll also have the agenda. We give out the agendas so you know which week. So you can go ahead and do your own homework up to that point. And then when you get to that point, join the class. So you can join on the same page as them. If that works for you, you're unlimited to how much classes you want to take with us. Once you're in, you're in. I had registered and was creating an account and in a Facebook group. Okay, great. Sakia. Y'all gonna think I'm mean. Sakia, tell me or inbox me. I'm gonna give you my info at Microloc Mass. I have your email, right? I don't know how to find what name you have on there, right? So I'm gonna put it here. And I want you to email me so I can manually let you in, because we have about 300 people waiting to get into the Facebook group that have not. Okay, call me mean, but listen, and this is just how I am, and I'm sorry if it's mean. I'm sorry. But I feel like it's only 2 questions. Three. It asks you 2 questions: your name, your email, and do you agree to group rules? Those are the only questions. And I feel like if people don't want that question, because we do free trainings in there. We do we're gonna do another free series of trainings. And if I feel like you can't answer those questions, unless you missed it or something happened accidentally, then we'll go ahead and let you in. But a lot of times I don't want impulsive. I want a quality versus quantity. So I'm not really looking for a lot of numbers, as if they're not going to be engaged or value the information, and I'm okay with that. That's why my numbers could be so much higher. We're at 2.3K. I'm okay with it staying at 2.3K forever if that's where it stays at, with 300 people waiting to get in. If people can't answer the questions, I said, call me mean if you want, but I just feel like that's a very small ask. That's the only way I can keep in contact with you. If you're not active in the group, I don't know your government name, but I want you to use this email, and email me, shoot me an email with your government name, and I'm gonna look and see you answer the questions. Okay, all right. So, can I show y'all? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'll wait till I get to the topic of Sister Locks another day, because I'm gonna revisit that panel. All right. So when it comes to bigger sized, puffy ends, small roots, I never thought that was a completed look. But if that's what she wants, that's cool. But here's the problem. Who remembers the problem? If you remember, put it in the comments. The main issue is because she's interweaving them through her roots. That can become problematic, and when those roots are tiny, that's why and as a professional, I am not going to have you sit also longer while I struggle to get those ends that are not being addressed properly, or maybe they look like they're getting hard, and try to put it onto my little tool that's designed to go around the size of your root, that size, but those ends, I'm forcing and I'm fidgeting and I'm trying to force that onto the tool so that I can go ahead and weave it through, and I'm sitting there. It's very stressful. And then there's hooks and stuff on there. So as we try to bend that end, that hardened end into the root, right? And then also the issue comes in with cutting and trimming. People still can have fat bulbous ends with certain hair textures for improper trimming. So it's not always a solution. It can be a little unraveling that happens, and now that hair is locking into a fat bulbous end. So it's best to just start it and maintain it in a way where it's as consistent as possible. If you're desiring to maintain it in that way, that's the one of the rationales why. I wish I had able to attend the event. Had to change plans. Hair being pulled out the tool. Difficult. Yes, yes. Oh yeah, you know the answer. Deborah, you won one of the prizes at the raffle at the Jeopardy game we did in the game. It's like you know your stuff. Ooh, getting that part. Yes, I'm all types of stuff falling down. I got one light. Lord, Lord, I'm about to call. I'm about to wrap this up in a minute. I don't even think y'all can see me properly. Hold on. Let me put this here. Let's see if this helps. It just looks extremely bootleg. Let's see. I think it looks okay. That's what it is. Okay, absolutely. Yep. And so that's functionality. That is why there should be a strategy to why people do what they're doing. It should be a strategy to the method. It should be a strategy to why they're starting that way. And so some people say, well, I wanted a real fluffy so-and-so look. How fluffy? Because if you want them as big as the pictures that I saw people say they want their hair to look like, I'm questioning, do you really want micro locks? So you know what the definition of that is. Are you using that term broadly? Because when we use microlocs, the intended definition was that they would be micro-sized and they would be locked. So some people are thinking they're looking more like a two-strand twist look, a bigger, chunkier look. I said, that's cool. You can achieve that look with traditional locks. You can achieve that look with bigger interlocks. There's a bigger base. So you're making these little teeny tiny grids and having all these grid pictures or just Bantu knots and grids and Bantu knots and grids. And then the ends of them are looking more like traditional locks, which is beautiful. But we just want people to be realistic about the expectations, because the problems when you switch from that realm into wanting to get it fixed or even understanding how the process is going to evolve. So that's one picture. So now I think someone was talking about a repair issue. Precious, you were talking about this repair issue. And I don't know if y'all could see it, but this is a two-strand twist conversion. They wanted to interlock the roots. So that repair issue that you're doing for a spot area is actually what the entire hair could be doing with a two-strand twist. So this is one section, or this is what all the locks are doing on this particular person's hair, because they started them with two-strand twists and they wanted to interlock the root. So you know how you're closing up holes? It's essentially, and you're saying it's making like two ropes. Well, that's essentially what two-strand twists are. So I ask people to think about what the premise of starting on this size is. With that, with the hair being matted together at a different tension, much looser, much easier to pull out, weaker pattern versus a tighter roots that you're interlocking with a completely different method. And now you are posed sometimes with the challenge of, should I proceed down the rest of this lock and make it match the root, or should I leave it? Because leaving it will have two different sizes. It may not be that drastic, but it definitely won't be as uniform for as long as your hair is the two-strand twist are there. And then I've seen a lot of them actually really get a lot larger. And then now you have those little skinny bases. So sometimes if people say, well, I'm going to go ahead and close them up, then that's just a whole repair job for an entire head. There's a lot of things to think about, the rationale behind why certain things are being done. We got the true people in this pretendism. That means we got the true people. Oh, I see. Precious, I know you're upset. Karma is swift and quick. I'm glad to say that I've built Microloc Mastery off of my own brain and mind from 15 years ago, giving credit to Sister Locks where credit is due for laying down this, foundation for small locks. But I know that there's issues, so I'm gonna speak facts. But I know Precious is talking about we have had ongoing legal issues with especially one particular person, but there's a few people that have continuously copied our program and even our name. And so Precious is going in on that. Trying not to get stirred up about it myself, but I know 2024 we're going to have to come down a little harder. But they just want people to know this information for free so that you can use your own eyes and so that you can decide because there are people that are training you to do this. But look at what's happening when they're switching to providers. There was the consistency in the industry on the foundation and theory of Microlocs. It does not lend to the consistency in the industry for this size locks. Traditional locks, different. Small, micro, what was intended to be Microloc standard, it does not. So that's what I speak on. Now, it causes a little bit of confusion for a lot of people who are trying to find a provider, which is why I say Microloc Mastery Certified. You'll know that we have these standards. If they're doing different things, they're probably not an active certification, or they're just not doing enough heads to know, like, hey, wait, like this is a certified pro. In the past, she sent this picture because this is what she was experiencing, and she was educating her clients on why this was a problem. This is not one of my clients, so they're going and they're educating, they're dealing with, and they're trying to address it. You can still see you. Oh, so it's all right if I'm bootleg. Listen, the information is what matters. So I always feel like as long as this information is helpful to people, be discerning. I love that. 2024 is like the year of exposure. I tell you, they will be exposed. I've been not saying certain things because I just let karma do. But people, you're gonna start hearing if people don't stop and just be truthful and treat other people with a certain level of respect and go get their healing, go get their therapy. So why they gotta be sneaky and be snakes against another Black woman? Because I'm a therapist too. So I always say, if I feel a certain way, let me question why I feel that way. Instead of going and trying to do like, why can't you build your own business on your own kind of version of why can't you be, or just try to even collaborate instead of compete and fool people. A lot of people have been spending money on the wrong program thinking it's us. Please know Microloc Mastery. You're going to see my face. You're going to see the golden arches. You're going to see information that resonates with your spirit, hopefully. You're going to see, like, wait a minute. Year of exposure. People can do what they think they think they're going to get away with it. They think they're going to get away with it. Okay, let's look at some other pictures. With those braids. These are some pictures I've been showing, but, Spill it, Cat Williams. Well, I don't know what they redid their name as, but I already know that child. She has to be a snake. She can't do it out publicly. She can't because it would be a real swift, really bad consequences. And so I don't know why people are so diligent. I know I was going, listen, y'all, I'm gonna be real. That's why I did my little TikTok last night at midnight. And I was just thinking about, I used to be, sometimes I still get sad sometimes about what my life would have been like if I didn't become a single mother and I was able to keep the momentum with Microlocs and the way that I was doing it. And although I'm not, if people are doing good quality work, then I'm not upset. It's the people that are doing shoddy work that are trying to like undermine. I've already had to surrender a lot about the branding that I was creating. There's some things that are still coming out that I'm gonna be quiet about, but y'all gonna hear about. But it's just like at some point it gets to be, it's just more sad. It's more sad. But every business goes through something where there's people that there's some type of legal thing, some type of people copying, and which says, okay, well, at least you have something good, you have something exciting. Because listen, Microlocs is something I've been saying since 2009. So if these people wanted to make these programs, well, they could have done it the time that I was going, but it wasn't until I came back 2019 and launched Microloc Mastery and had it in Black Enterprise and had it going all over the world. Then all of a sudden, all these pop up virtual programs, and then and so that's why I'm like, you have to just do your due diligence. Sometimes look at receipts, look at the knowledge, look at what's been actually working, look at the quality of work the person's producing, long term, their imprint in the industry, satisfied students that are out, like look at other things before you put like a lot of money down, and just know information. We know this is what two-string twists and braids do. Are you going to be dropping four figures? Somebody tell you how to braid? Are they teaching you how to do repair, retightening, and refining? Do they know how to do it? They have to if they're going to be trying to start locks to look a certain way on a small scale with some of these methods. Are they pulling it straight out of the DIY during the time? I know I was absent from YouTube for all those years, and DIY took over, and all these people have all these followers, and that's cool. But you can tell there was like a baton picked up with missing info. It was like, oh, this is easier to do it this way. It's easier for me to do it this way. So and so's do it this. But it wasn't. It wasn't. That largely led to what was made it grow so quickly because it seems easier, but it's there's reasons why it's not a viable thing on a large scale. That I found that didn't have the same tension, has spots that need tightening. You're going to see the weakened areas. You're going to see some of the loose ends of the braids. Again, doing it on yourself is great and fun. Do your own hair. It's just crossing over to the professional realm. There wasn't like a door, like okay, this is a professional. Let's check it. Okay, no, it was like, oh, there's no one here. There's nothing here to check it. So I go and close out these ends using the methods I teach that'll match what she's once done on her roots. But now she's going to have a different pattern. It's going to look like interlock here. You can't see my mouse. At the root, middle is going to look like a braid. The end's going to start to look like a barrel. The pattern matters. The pattern is there for a reason. It's more than just the install pick. We are matting hair together in a particular pattern so that it can mimic a lock on a larger size. A cylinder, even consistent lock that will stay consistent through most hair textures. Actually, all hair textures. There's no hair texture that wouldn't be able to lock cylindrically in a nice barrel. You just adjust the size, you adjust the parting. If you want fullness, if you want different sizes, you don't have to play with the base. If you want professional quality and you want a professional to be able to pick up, then you should consider getting the professional to start it or learning how to start it in the way that the professional is going to be maintaining it. It's much easier for them to repair as well. Yeah, bumps and lumps. I can show you that. Okay, so let me get this off the screen for a second and go to those. Well, this darn picture. This picture. I don't want to show this. This isn't bumps and lumps per se. This is loose hair, but you can see the fatness. But there's another picture I wanted to show you. Hi, Glorious Locks. Hey, girl. Happy New Year. Yeah, you were looking at braids. Yeah, braids that people wanted to turn into locks, but at that moment they were braids. The patterns matter for sure, absolutely. Ooh, child. Well, we give energy to girls. I'm not giving energy to. I know Precious is mad. You are one of many people that I'm so happy. Like I know there's a whole army of y'all that fight for me in my absence. Fight for us. Fight for the truth. All the people doing great work. There's a lot of y'all on here watching that do great work. Y'all are not a snake. Y'all are not a secret spire to see what I'm saying. So y'all can put it on here. Y'all are good people who want good quality work for yourself and others. We are not talking about you. Y'all really are blessed. I'm gonna tell you that for upholding what is fair and true and honest. So this was just this was a picture, and half her hair was loose on the right side, and it was really bumpy and fat. And so I was showing us some examples of inconsistency, sizing, different things. But there's another picture. Let me remove it. That shows you the bumps and lumps and stuff that you are talking about. Excuse me. I just want to pull that up. Where I'll put that picture. While I go look for that picture, oh no, because I can't do the slideshow and show you the thing. I wanted people to go to lockquiz.com real quick. If I don't know if Microlocs are going to be best for me versus a really small traditional lock or an interlock, because I want people to have what they really want in a way that they can maintain it in a way that's not going to be problematic for them or hard for a person to maintain. So I always tell people, try this quiz out or give it to somebody is like, what? I don't know. Because it does require certain changing your life and commitment to results on a small scale. I'm going to remove that. I'm going to go ahead and find that picture. It should be in this one. But yeah, y'all. Mm-mm-mm. And I have the 3 methods video that I always show. I could show y'all that too. I compare the braids, the interlock, and the twist. I'm gonna make some more videos this year, I promise. Oh, she's not in this slideshow. I have it in another slide. Hold on. I'm increasingly seeing a lot of loose ends with new transfer clients. It's crazy. Yeah, you can definitely. That's why I have the advanced repair as well. But you probably can do that with the repair you already got in the training. You already have so far, or you already know from your other experience. But if you ever get to the point where it's extreme and advanced, that's the advanced repair that I have. Okay, I'm looking for um, the bump. Y'all know the picture I always show with the skinny base and the fat ends. I don't have it in a slideshow for some reason. Y'all remember? I don't want to keep showing y'all the same pictures. But child, I do want to show y'all the picture. So give me a moment. I'm going to cue it up. And then I'm going to wrap up. But I think it might be here. My computer has been it's been acting up. All right. Let me see if it's any slides. Yeah, I could put questions. Take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. What's the count now? I know somebody was taking a count for me as to how many viewers versus how many people are liking. That'll help me get the picture up quicker, I think. Is it this one? No. 14. Okay, we're getting there. Thank y'all. Don't take your like back. You take your like back, I'm gonna find you. Important updates. Who is ready to start who's ready to go to our member meeting next Monday at 7? Click a like. Who's getting the emails about the special offer? Not everybody's getting that email. If you know what I'm talking about, if you got it. There's a special offer with last year's pricing like crazy. I wasn't thinking when I did it. Y'all need to I might change my mind actually because I'm getting talked out of it. Like, what are you doing? People want to act, they'll act. But I have an offer, payment plan, in-house payment plan offer with last year's pricing. No interest, no fees. Get you started, get you in right away, so we can officially close out the enrollment and then focus on our new students. Revamp where we are at the program, the new programs, and then the price change will happen before we reopen it. So it was like a last chance for people, all the people. I saw so many people that had applied to a payment plan option and that were not getting approved, and I didn't like that. So I wanted to give people an option to get in without having to run your credit. And I don't care about your credit. I just care about that you're going to be able to pay. I think the credit system in this country is trash. So I'm not going to sit and act like, damn, they didn't get accepted, I guess they're not in. It's like, no, there's people that would be able to do the program. It's just the credit is what it is. And that doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to be a great student and keep to the payment plan and get the benefit. Okay. So I'm me being a social worker, I'm a little radical with stuff. I'm always challenging things, things that don't make sense, things that are not fair, and things that don't give people an opportunity. I challenge it. That's me. So if you want to know why my personality is the way it is and why I talk about certain topics the way I do, just know I am a social worker, activist, advocate, um, social. I used to march in the streets about equal justice and rights. So when I see this in the hair industry and I see people bamboozled, like I'll talk about it. Or if I see opportunities in our program for people to get what they need, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna be like sticking to the book because rules are made to be broken if it helps benefit someone. Right? As long here we go. Lord have us mercy. Child. Okay. Let me download these pictures. I was talking because I'm trying to pull up the other pictures and that I can't find in the slide. But now let's see if they're gonna let me share my screen. The last email you received November 20th. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Okay, cool. It says 16 on my it's because it's combining all the other it's combining the Facebook group. Cool. And I did watch the replay and I was like, I'm not receiving any emails. Oh no. Yeah. Resubscribe if you can, please. Sometimes people unsubscribe by accident. The credit system feels like it's set up. Yeah. It's like it's crazy because people could be working on their credit and get it to a certain point, and all you need is a late payment or two because you have financial strain, and now all of a sudden it acts like you're a delinquent person that doesn't pay back somebody's money, and it's like no, especially when you're investing in something like a program that's going to help you make money. I'm like, why not just throw that away? Like there's people I think y'all should still apply to that if y'all want, but if you've already applied and you got a not qualified or something, you got an email from me. Check your spam, and I gave you the opportunity. I did put a timeline on it um, because yeah, okay, let me share my screen. Oh yeah, my computer's slow. Okay. Lord, why is it so slow? Entire screen. Going with that. You was looking it up. Okay. My computer is really slow. Oh yeah. I hate this. It's the same pictures y'all seen before. It literally. Just remember that lady with the skinny. I'm gonna show you the computer because it is so slow. Okay, downloads. And I'm gonna have to get my daughter. Don't forget, um, next Monday we have our group member meeting, and then we also have the following Monday we have the first day of group coaching. Am I losing y'all? Okay, the lose. Yeah, I know some of y'all. But she taking too long. I'm gonna just share my screen. Don't judge all the other tabs you see, okay? Because I'm trying to get it up. But y'all, you already know. I'm just gonna share my screen. I can't get it up. Window. Okay, this should be good. Can y'all see? Oh wait, no, you can't see. Hold on. Can you see? What? Oh yeah, got it. Oh, this is a new thing I can do. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Um, yeah, it's my internet. Yeah, the credit system is a scam. Y'all can y'all see now? Okay. So, Bumps, lumps. Okay. Can I zoom in? I can't zoom in more than that. You can zoom in on your thing. So she doesn't necessarily, she has bumps and loose hair at the ends, but there are also times where even if the ends aren't this bad, hold on. Oh God, am I frozen? Oh, if the ends aren't this bad, the lumps and bumps will be where the skinny part is towards the root. And so I have another picture. Wait, how do I get to the next picture? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to the next picture so I can show y'all more. What? Here. So it was really more about loose hair that was gathered up and made out bulbous ends. But even on like the sides over here, can become bumpy locks. But sometimes along the here, if someone has a knot, which is common, I was like, this is so common. It could be people who self retighten their hair, very common for them to make their own knots and not be able to take them out. But sometimes there would be a quote unquote professional optician that would make a knot and not take it out. And I would say, oh my goodness. So if I ever accidentally make a knot, which can happen, I stop everything I'm doing and I go and take that knot out. And I'll stop the timer for doing it about an hour and make sure that they get, they're not charged for an error that I made. But sometimes you'll see along here even those bumps and those knots, and there's just knots that have not been taken out. If you think about this, it's like a string. So just take the knot out right away. If you leave it, it's going to the hairs are going to mat together and fuse together, and now you're going to have a permanent bump that you can't take out. So that's sometimes what a lot of the knots are. And then if it's also the hole because of the trying to close up the space and creating the hole, or things like this where the hair is bunched up together and it has not been smoothed out and repaired. You'd be surprised. This is maybe a little bit more an extreme example, but there's examples where it's not this extreme, but I can still tell that the person didn't smooth it out when they had an opportunity to. Like, it didn't have to be that fat at the end. And then I just show just how tiny it is, and her hair texture is she has full little looser curl type, and I would not have gone this small if I was not prepared to make sure that the hair was going to be pulled into that lock. So I noticed it a lot with Sister Locks. I use a different tool, so I felt the tension got a little bit better, but there's times I can tell the tool tension is not pulling it as tight, and then it looks like wiry and spacey. So that's what I mean by knowing just the little nuances of certain things and how it'll affect certain hair types. If someone is desiring a different look. Yeah. So yeah. So that's some things I want to show. So, and in conclusion, right? In conclusion, as I close out, I want you to just people to understand those top qualities that make a well done microloc that we talked about, right? So there will be an absence of overly puffy ends that are significantly larger than the root if they're doing it a small microloc with the interlock and maintenance. That if they're doing a different type of technique and they're calling the microlocs, but they're bigger, is different. But if you're doing it when you're pulling a lock through, well done would mean that it would be as smooth as possible because you're going to need to maintain it in a nice, smooth, easy way. The second thing, drastically inconsistent in sizing. So you will see more consistency in sizing for really well done. You'll see the uniformity. You'll see the attention paid, and understanding that the grid foundation, yes, although the grid can be even, if the density is different in those boxes, or if it's that could lead to a different size lock. If the hair texture is different in that area, it can lead to a different size lock. So consistency and understanding, not just laying a good grid, but there's hair and density and texture in that grid that could create different size locks. So it's not just about even square, but that is an important thing. The knowledge goes beyond that. Bumps, lumps, and knots. You won't see bumps, lumps, and knots, knowing how preventable it can be, or how easy it could be to address with the right knowledge. You shouldn't really see that. If the foundation is laid with a certain level of skill, you won't see that ongoing. Does that make sense? Properly sized. So, like we showed with that picture, I'm not necessarily saying. Well, no, I'm not. I am saying I felt like her locks were too tiny for her texture, for what was going on. She had a gazillion locks for the sake of having a gazillion locks. Didn't work well with her hair texture. Y'all know who I'm talking about. This client that I just showed you. Um, and so I don't feel like for her texture or for strength. Now, maybe strength wasn't necessarily her issue because she didn't necessarily have broken locks, but her texture created excessive bunching, spending oh my goodness, her retightenings were going to be much longer than it had to be, because just in that little area right there at the top of her head, with adjustment and sizing, could make it about a third less or half, and she still would have really small, beautiful locks. Knock out some time of her sitting in a chair and the frequency with which she has to get maintenance. Okay. Consistent shape as well. Like I was showing, when it came down to the bottom of her locks, it became fatter and puffier. And there's all different shape differences people have. But wow, I also looking really closely now. She had color. It looked like the color texturized her hair, and it wasn't pulled in all the way either. I could see the install looking so pretty. Oh my goodness, like this wavy. But this is ultimately what happens when you just leave that. And it's not closed in. Remember, we want locks or we want loose hair. We have to make a decision sometime. Well, we do for long-term micro size with the pattern that you're doing interlocking with. You're going to have to make some hard decisions about what is going to be practical and what you want, and does it align. And then consistent shape. Yeah. All right. And that an install, retie, etc. is not complete, especially not a training, if they're not showing you these three things: repairing, refining, and preventing. With that being said, y'all have a wonderful rest of your I forget the delay. I'm about to shut up, so you have some clients. You have some questions. I swear, y'all, it's not alcohol, it's a juice, the fresh squeezed juice. Does she have loose ends? It looks like she's not my client to start. But from what I can gather is that she had a curly texture, intentionally or unintentionally, but somehow unraveled at the ends, and then was not pulled into the pattern properly and was left. And then it just bunched up together on its own pattern, created its own thing, and was left like that. And so I combed out some of them and had to go in and do the best I could. But the ends are tricky too, because now you have to have the right tool that's going to be able to allow you to go all the way to the ends. It's never really fun to close them ends all the way to the bottom. It's just like very minute, very meticulous with how far down you can go. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. Okay. And those who have emails, who've had wanted to be in the program and had some responses back about payment plans, you have a check your email. You have an opportunity to get in and join us. Hopefully, you could join us by the time we start on Monday with our member meeting. But then we are starting our official group coaching on the 22nd. We are starting our advanced Microloc. I'll put the schedule up for y'all real quick. Our advanced repair and extensions class. So that's our advanced repair, reattachment, and extending combined with our Microloc master extensions classes. We start on the 25th with live training. You have your own login, your own portals, and your supply kits and things. You'll be receiving those as well. And then we have our on-site trainers business program that's a 4-week program for those people who are training in specific areas in the US. Right now we have the US, but again, this program is open to all. And it is a scholarship as well for your time and also to help you get what you need um, to start being a site trainer for us. The Microloc Mastery, we give you, at the completion of it, we give you a $500 grant. So we have our people selected and ready to go, and we start on the 31st. You guys are welcome. Thank you. Top of the week. Hey, y'all, that's our producer from the party. Why don't you go over and please subscribe to his channel. Follow him, check him out. Film de Montaigne. He's the iRant studio creator. The one that on Roku, available on Roku TV. If you have a Roku TV, type in iRant, IRANT, and you will see his channel and all his shows. And perhaps you could have your show on his show, and you'd be I forgot what he calls, but you call it Montaigne. I'm trying to do a pitch for you, but I'm trying to get people connected to you because I think you did a really great job helping us out that day. And then we have, hi, Chandrika. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being a wonderful person that you are. And my computer is like, girl, bye. I'm slow. You're welcome, Mona. Bye.